There you go. Recording is in progress, in case you were wondering. You can wonder no more. I mean, you can wonder more if you want to, but I don't know why you want to. Okay, anyhow. Likutey Moharan. We are at Torah Chaf Beis. So, after we have explained that there's a seal that is manufactured by the Mochichi Ador. These are the people who are in charge of letting the people know, of admonishing the people. And they have to seal and conceal the heavenly judgment that was decreed on the world, so that the Chitzonim will not suck from it, siphon from that, and suck from it, and therefore corrupt the heavenly judgment. Because when that particular judgment is spoiled, that causes shambles and havoc and big balagan in the world. And then we said that there is an outer seal that protects the inner seal. And it is done by the people accepting the Musar from the admonishers of the generation. Acceptance that is emuna derived, emuna powered. That particular emuna, which enables them to receive the Musar and to protect the inner seal, is something that the people get from the 7 shepherds of the generation, the 7 Emunah shepherds of the generation. Now, as to why the Emunah of the people allows them to accept the Musar, this is understandable. If you don't believe in them, if you don't believe that they want what's best for you, there's no way you're ever going to accept that which they tell you. But we mentioned this once before, like, what is the reason that their emunah and accepting the Musar protects the inner seal? So we said b'derech efshar that the job, hold on just for a second, that the job of the Mochichi Ador is not just to let the people know what the problem, what judgment there is in the world, but they have an active role in making the problem, the infraction, seem smaller by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and making it bigger by the people. But while they're doing it, they're supposed to conceal the whole thing so it will not be evident to the Chitzonim. So that poses a major problem, and that problem is that if the Mochichi Ador are blatant about Zeitei Chocha, then the Chitzonim will obviously realize that something is going on. But on the other hand, if they camouflage it and they whisper it, or they just allude to it, then the people won't get the Teichocha. They wouldn't realize the severity of the situation. Well, the question is, what do you do? How do you solve that problem? It's woe to you if you do, and woe to you if you don't. So, the answer that we came up with is that the emuna of the greater the emuna of the people, which they get from the seven mochich ador. It's not just regular emuna that they believe. It's Kodesh Baruch Hu, there's Olam Haba, and we have to be on our best behavior. Basically, it's an emuna that they have to work hard. They have to overcome obstacles to get into this emuna. So comes the question. Why is that? What is so special about this emuna? This is an emuna that makes you believe that the Mochich Ador are not just, excuse the expression, monomaniacs. There's like a tunnel vision, and they have this urge to point out what's wrong with everybody else. But the emuna that you get from the Shiva Royam is an emuna that enables, that brings you to understand that tzaddikim are people who are connected to the Kodesh Baruch Hu all the time, at all times. Meaning that their metzius is constantly a Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's not about COVID. It's not about setting up institutions for themselves. And your emuna is that because they are connected to her all the time and exclusively, their every movement, their every, whichever you want to call it, is godly. It's a indirect connection with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, which means you watch them and you watch their behavior with a hawk's eye, because you realize there's a lot more to them that meets the eye. That kind of sensitizing, this kind of emuna sensitizes you to be able to receive the messages from the Mochich Ador without them having to be too explicit, without them having to open up and scream at you. Your emuna allows them to communicate with you almost like in code. That's why, by the great manhigim, rebbes, whatever it is that they have, minhagim, they have, where every single thing is on the table. So the people that have emuna in them, and if they're really tzaddikim, sometimes just by moving something to another side, unlike the way it is at any given moment, at all times, sends a message that only people that have extra emuna pick up on it. So this is how the outside seal protects the inner seal, as it were. That's one possibility. Now, to get to this emuna, it's not a small thing. To get to the emuna, this kind of emuna, from the 7 shepherds, you have to get to those 7 shepherds. Now, those 7 shepherds are not your natural choices. There are plenty of would-be or wannabe manhigim, that stake their claim to fame and say that these people that the real tzaddikim, the real shivaroim are not where it's at. And if you really know what's good for you, you'll come to me. I mean, you'll come to them. B. And if you don't do it out of your, I don't know, whatever it is, they will cow you. They will, beat you down. They will hound you. They'll ostracize you from not conforming to their rule. It's called Aziador. And you have to have Azus the Kedusha against them. They're the bold, the Chatzufim of the generation. And you have to be bold and resolute against them. And when you overcome them, and you get to the Shiva Roy. Now, we also mentioned that this kind of Azus the Kedusha, and is let's put it this way. Any choice that you make regarding pro or against doing what is right involves Azus. It is either it's Azus the Kedusha or it is Azus the Sitra Achra. Meaning, if I go to shul, okay, and I decide that, I'm starting to daven, and I really don't feel like, putting my all into it today. I'm being a patsy to my own Azus the Sitra Achra. And I'm actually have Azus the Sitra Achra towards the Kodesh Baruch Hu. When I daven in front of the Amud, and I'm trying, for whatever reason, I'm trying to daven, I'm trying to do it a little bit slower so you can at least think about what I'm saying during davening. And people say go ahead, hurry up. If I listen to them, I have meekness, the Sitra Achra, and Azus the Sitra Achra towards the Kodesh Baruch Hu. If I decide that I want to daven slow and loud, I'm not slow to the point that everybody's going to, if I daven that slow, I shouldn't be davening that minyan altogether. But I'm saying normal slow, kind of normal speed where everybody, the kind of speed that everybody should daven. It's not that I'm, holding everybody back, I don't know what. Then I have Azus the Kedusha against them, and I have meekness, the Kedusha, vis-a-vis the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So whichever way you choose, you are meek towards one side, and you are bold towards the other. The question is, which side are you being bold to, and which side you're being meek towards? It's your choice. Now, the number one obstacle to coming close to the Shiva Roim that can give you this kind of emunah, this kind of the main Azay Ponim, the Sitra Achra, is your own corporeal body, your own Olam Hazadika body. I'm not talking just the body. The body is also, but also, the nefesh and the intellect, and because I like my food to taste good. I like my sleep to be long. I like to feel good. I like to feel respected. Now, in and on itself, each one of those things is important, and when it is placed in its own, its own place or wherever it is it belongs. Wanting delicious food belongs to Shabbos. You should sleep as much as you need, and Avali should be healthy. You should feel good. And enough of COVID. The meaning of COVID is that you should run away from COVID. But it doesn't mean that you're allowed to lower the COVID to Kodesh Baruch Hu while doing it. So every single, there's nothing extraneous, is superfluous in the human nature. It's just a question of how and where you use it. So you need azus the kedusha. You need boldness, decisiveness, resoluteness, the kedusha, to get over the boldness of your own corporeal body, of the azapanim shabador, and get close to the shivaroim to get temuna from them. We also mentioned that the way to overcome what azus the kedusha is through voices, emitting voices. Either you cry to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you sigh to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you sing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you collect money for tzedakah. The sound of the coin jumping in your hand is Azus the Kedusha. And of course the shofar is Azus the Kedusha. It's a horn of a ram. It's Azus the Kedusha. Yishama bekolo kol oiz. And at the same time, the idea is that when you lower the resistance of your own gashmias, you hear the asogos, and your own neshama is able to perceive at all times. You are able to hear the voice of the tzaddik. As long as I have inherent averus in me, when I hear the tzaddik speak, I don't hear him. I hear what they called havara. I hear the noise that my own averus are, the racket that they're raising, when the voice of the tzaddik comes to my ears. Before I hear what he's saying, they don't care. Okay, just go ahead. But the minute that the voice of the tzaddik comes, it wakes them up. It wakes the impetus of my averus up. I can't even hear the voice of the tzaddik. No. So if I can't hear the voice of the tzaddik, ultimately, so what is there left to do? What am I supposed to do? That was my last chance. That's what the pasuk says. If our averus are the ones who are calling up inside us when we hear the voice of the tzaddik. In other words, I hear the voice of the tzaddik, but what I hear is just like, okay, he's saying words. I see his lips move, but it doesn't come in. I remain the same bolvan I used to be until now. Zel b'sheigetz v'yamal. Im avonoseinu anu banu Hashem aseh leman shmecha. When I come and I try to listen to the voice of the tzaddik, and I hear the voice of the tzaddik, and I see that it's boring me, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. If I am determined to fight the Azus Sitra Achra in me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out to Kodesh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shel Olam, I tried. I called out. I made kolos dikdusha, and still I can't hear the call of the tzaddik. I still cannot hear the call of the neshama. Hashem asalaman shmecha. What can I do? What else can I do? If I go through the length of all that length, and I still don't hear it, God says, okay, you cannot do it, that's fair enough. You did your part, I will do mine. It's a very big principle, which comes to mean that as long as you do yours, that's fine. This is what you can do. You can break down the kedusha, whatever it is. You have to do your shtadlus. But at a certain point in time, it comes to the point where you see it doesn't work. It's beyond you. It's above your pay grade. That's okay. You don't have to worry about it. Just give it over to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, this is what they say, Yagato umatzaso tamin. If you put in the effort and you found, believe. And we say, why are you saying that? It says one of the three things that come when you least expect them, is a metzia, is a found, something that you find in the sense, the Mashiach, and lo aleinu, a bite of a scorpion. So you can go around looking for avedis, looking for things that people lose all day long, and you won't find anything. So what it says, yagato, in other words, you put in the effort, umatzas, and then you found. Tamin, believe, yeah, it's true. You found the real thing. They have nothing to do with one another. A found is, a finding is something you just walk in the street and boom, 200 shekels on the street. Amazing. You can go all day long looking for 200 shekels on the street and you won't find. It comes when you don't expect it. So how comes Yagato Matzaso Tami? The answer is, when you put in your yagir, you put in your hard work, your toil, when you do your part, Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you what you're looking for as a present. It's a mitzvah. You have to do your ishtadlus. Without your ishtadlus, you're not going to get it. How much ishtadlus? Each one according to the level of his or her emunah. But you have to make ishtadlus. You make your own ishtadlus, because Baruch Hu is going to give you everything for free. If you're saying, forget about it, I don't need to do all this, I don't know, the ishtadlus, HaKadosh Baruch Hu do whatever he wants, forget about it. You will sit there and it won't arrive to you. It won't get to you. Kadosh Baruch Hu made the world this way, so you have Mechira to say, yo, I'm the one who found it, I'm the one who did it. This is why the world is built this way. And we said that the major way of getting to Azaz Kedusha is through Simcha. The Simcha that we get is what they called Nasa v'Nishma. That up and down of Nasa v'Nishma. Nasa is that which the Madrega, I'm holding it now. Nishma is that which I will hold at, when I get there. Nasa v'Nishma. That produces a Simcha. Which means I want to go up, I want to go to a higher Madrega, I want to get to that which is beyond me, a Madrega of Nishma, and I want to make from the Nishma, I want to make a new Nasa. And then I get a new Nishma. It's like we learn Torah Chafalef, that you have Makifin, you bring the Makifim in, and you get a new Makif. In means what I can wrap my mind around it, what is useful to me, what it is, that is practical to me at this given point. And Nishma is still not yet. It's still not where it's at. It's still not, B'ezrat Hashem. I'm talking about it. Maybe I don't even know about it. But that's the next step. And the idea is you keep on climbing, up and up and up all the time, until you get B'ezrat Hashem to the highest madrega of them all. Rabbeinu says, Bereshis, the spitz, the very beginning of Olam HaAtzilus. Beyond that, you become fused in Ein Sof Mamish. Then your Torah, Nasa, is the Nasa of Kodesh Baruch Hu, is the Torah Hashem. Your Tefillah is Tefillah Hashem. What does it mean, your Tefillah, Tefillah Hashem? When you daven, you're on that Madreya, Kodesh Baruch Hu is already davening for you. If you notice, the two ends of the spectrum, when you absolutely cannot do anything, and if you reach all the way the very beginning of Olam HaAtzilus, you are before the world was created. You are part of Ein Sof, and you daven. Kadosh Baruch Hu davens for you. At the on both ends of the spectrum, Kadosh Baruch Hu is davening for you. So, the main thing is Nasa v'Nishma, one madrega after the next. This is what Rabbeinu says in Seif Yud Aleph. Ach sheroitzim latzes mimadrega Nasa v'Nishma zeh lemadregas Nasa v'Nishma gavoeh mimena. When you want to ascend from your current madrega of Nasa v'Nishma, this is the Nasa. This is what is of it. This is what obvious to me. The Nishma is beyond me. Now that is tzarich los yerida kodem aliyah. You need to have a trough. You need to stumble. You need to get down before you can get up. Ki yerida hitachlis aliyah. Because going down, the purpose of going down is in order to go up. Chazal said, that head of Batsheva, he says, my heart is void, there's no Yetzer Hara already. David HaMelech killed his Yetzer Hara completely. The same thing, Lo Yisrael Ruim Lo Yisamaisa, the sin of the golden calf. Because Baruch Hu says, Mitin ve'ayal vavam zeh lahem lira oisi kol hayomim. I wish they had that kind of heart, to have fear and awe before me for the end of days. How did they come, to sin Chet HaEgel? Ela shenosan Hashem yisborach lahem ichshol toves olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them a stumbling block for the benefit of the world forever. As Chazal said, the sin of David HaMelech and the sin of Am Yisrael was Gzera Mishamayim. What Lahiras Tshuva? To teach the people the principle of Tshuva to Yachid and to Rabbin. David HaMelech taught Tshuva l'Yocham. Until then, in Am Yisrael, Klal Yisrael, we learned the principle that when the multitudes, when Am Yisrael is making tshuva, then it's it's accepted. But we still didn't know that is tshuva the Rabbi. Tshuva the Yochid. This we didn't know. This is why the Ma'aseh of the Melech happened. That even a single person failed that he can do tshuva. This is necessary to teach Am Yisrael throughout the generations that the way of tshuva is open. When people will learn that if a single person or multitude of people, they sinned, they will learn that tshuva is an option, that tshuva is possible. So the stumbling block that David HaMelech had, and the Shvatim and Am Yisrael had, it was so that the sinners of Am Yisrael throughout the generation will have the concept of, yes, it is possible to rectify. It is rectified. It's possible to fix. So that his own Yerida will be an opening for an Aliyah. And to a much higher madriga than he ever was before. Renosson says in Likutey Alocha Siglas Erevin as follows: Ein Adam Zoicha LeMadriga Gavoa Yoser. A person cannot attain a higher level. Kim Alidei Shielo Yerida Kodem Aliyah, unless he has, a descent before the ascent. V'zeh bechol Adam u'vechol zman u'vechol daga v'daga. This is applicable to every person at any given moment, at all times. Even if you just need a little madrega, just a small little madrega. You fell asleep. And you need to get up. You need to get up again. You had a downtime. You had a slump. You need to reawaken. Even for this, you have to have some kind of Yerida according to the way you are and who you are. And what is the Yerida? What does it mean? So this is the Nisyonis and the purification that you have to go through before you go from one Madrega to the next. Really, in truth, during that time of Madrega, a person is in a real sakana. It's a real danger, because it really can turn into a big balagan. Because many people fell. They had the Yerida. Okay, so now they just let go and just, totally tumble down. You have to be extremely resolute, extremely strong, extremely stubborn, not to give up. You have to have a tremendous siyata d'shmaya for that. To hold yourself during your downtime, not to fall off completely, chas v'shalom. But hold yourself by the skin of your teeth to break what you need to break and to outlast what you need to outlast until Barach Hashem is Barach, the time will come and you'll be delivered. Probably the most important lesson that a person needs to learn in Avodas Hashem is keep on keeping on and hold on to where you are, no matter where you are, no matter how you are. Lift up your eyes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You're looking at? Yeah, that's what I can do. It's tremendous. It's tremendous. It keeps you connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu at all time. I mean, yeah, when you're having a good time and you are in a high and you're riding high and everything is fine, great. But the real value is what you get out during the times of low. By holding on. I'm telling you flat out, without any ifs, ands, or buts. Your own Yeshua will come. Whatever Yeshua you need, the Yeshua will come as Hashem. Your deliverance will come, as long as you don't give up. And by not giving up, I don't mean that you're fighting tooth and nail, whatever it is. I'm not saying that you need to do things that you cannot do. Even just by holding on. The reason why people fail, why people fall, is because they get demoralized and dispirited and give up. So when their deliverance comes, they're no longer there to be delivered. B'ezrat Hashem, we will, we'll call it now. But this is obviously something that we've been speaking about again, and you have to speak about it again. You're never jobless in Avodas Hashem. You're always between jobs. People use it as something to make fun of. It's like I'm not jobless. I'm just between jobs. It's the kind of excuse that husbands usually give to their wives. I'm not jobless. I'm just between jobs. Well, the answer is, in Avodas Hashem, if you're not on a job, you're not doing what it is that you really want to do, you think that you should do, don't worry about it. You're not jobless. You're between jobs. Which means you're ready for a higher job. Just hold on. Just hold on. Hashem will help us all to hold on. Simply hold on. Hashem gam yoter, of course. Baruch Hashem, we have such a Rebbe, a tzaddik with such immense koyach, that gives Ruach Chaim to each and every person who is connected to him. B'ezrat Hashem, you can lean. Rabbeinu said so. He's the only tzaddik that actually says you can lean on my koyach. You can lean on my schos, my great schos. You can lean on it, physically, spiritually, any which way. Hashem will help us, and we'll be zocher to all of this.